Hey there, what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe, and this is Wake Up Legendary. I am here once again back in my garage, and we have a phenomenal guest. Why am I in my garage? I guess I'll close that loop for you so you're not wondering if you don't know. I'm home for the month, and we just had a baby. So that's going on in my personal life. And this is life. This is marketing online. This is entrepreneurship in both, actually, this has been my life for nearly 10 years, even though in 2020, this has sort of become everybody's life. And I'm excited as I've ever been in my entire 10-year career to be able to share these strategies and this business model with those of you who are coming in to our community for the very first time, because we're going to share with you what we've been doing in ways in which most people are just finding out now, because so many of them are at home, and they're paying more attention to the need, not just the want, but the need to be able to create income and to be able to have a business that doesn't require you to leave your home. Unbelievable, right? So with that being said, we're going to talk today to a woman who has seen a lot, has done a lot, and has found herself landing here after all of the options and all of the opportunities that she's aware of out there on the internet. And we're going to find out why she's here, what she sees in Legendary, why she's a part of our community, why she's using the strategies that we teach and talk about so much here. So with that being said, I want to welcome Toki to the show. How are you?
What's up, everyone? Great to meet you. Great to virtually meet everybody. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And Dave Sharpe, thank you for having me on today.
Hey, you're so welcome. I'm going to get to know you pretty much as everybody else does here today. I popped on about 30 seconds before we went live, and I said, "You ready to rock and roll?"
Yeah, let's do it.
So we've had you on the show though before, but it wasn't me, right? I would think
I have never been on this show before.
You've never been on the show. Okay. Right. So I'm, listen, I think this is a gift and a curse, right? The gift is that we started doing this show, and every single day we have a new student, we have a new client, we have a new member of our community that's on, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a gift because I don't know of any other company that's doing what we do here with this show every day. Nope. The curse is that sometimes we have people on multiple times, and my brain is broke in some areas, and I forget things. So let's jump in.
Sure.
You tell us, and you can weave in your story. I don't want to start with your story. I want to do this a little bit different. I want you to weave in your story as you talk about what you're doing now, and as we sort of talk over the next few moments. But talk to us about what you've done in the past in terms of businesses, and why eventually, or what eventually led you here to Legendary.
Sure. And I'm also going to share like a huge lesson that I learned and why I did end up here at Legendary through a mentor who has been in Legendary as well. So I started way back with MLM kind of deals way back when. And the thing that I was being taught or being showed at the time was if I threw enough money at something or at a program or a person, they'll build that business for me. And it just never worked out that way. If you just spend a lot of money on sending out postcards or spending a lot of money sending out solo ads, like you're going to be rich. And so for years I did that. For years I stopped. I was like, what? I didn't understand what marketing was. I didn't understand what building a personal brand meant. And so as the years kept going by, I'm like, okay, I'm throwing a whole bunch of money. Why aren't I making any money, right? So 2019, I was like, okay, I found some people, I found a program. And again, I finding myself dumping money and throwing money at these people like, hey, we're going to build this business for you. You can pretend you're us and we'll build this business for you. And I'm like, no, it's not working for me. So end of 2019, coming to 2020, right? I find I'm done with, debt, right? So now I have this amount of debt that taught me no skills. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't understanding. I wasn't internalizing anything until I finally understood, oh, you can't chase money or throw money at something. You have to learn the skills yourself to do what they're doing. What they're doing is working for them. You can't pay them this much money and expect them to do it for you. You can't build a business off somebody else's steam. You have to build your business on your own steam with educating and actually helping people do the same thing. And that's like a huge lesson I learned. And I was almost being taught that with all the shiny objects. That's what was being sold because that's what people want to see, not necessarily what they need to see. And so 2020 comes and I was like, okay, I'm going to hit the gate running. I found somebody within Legendary, Jacob Karras, and his world. And within his world is where I found Legendary. And learning from him was, you have to learn how to do this yourself. You have to build your business on your own steam, building a brand and actually helping people do the same and get a positive change in their life. And that's when I started to internalize. And I was like, I'm going to stop spending all this money and chasing all these pipe dreams and really figure out, how can I do this with me as my face, people getting to know me, people trusting me, and I can do that as well. Sharing, learn, do, teach, right? You do say that a lot. And it's so true. So when I got into Legendary here, it was almost, I felt like it was a second chance because you guys have this great community where you don't tear people down for their past experiences. You're here to support, help educate, help inspire, and motivate people to do for themselves and educate themselves on these high income skills that I had zero knowledge of. And I didn't understand what marketing was. And now that I do, I'm seeing a lot more success and a lot more fulfillment in my business. So that's kind of like a whole coming back around.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to tell you what you just shared was more valuable than what I even expected, and hopefully you can take that in and realize that your experience is helping somebody today in a major way. Just you sharing that, it was well put, it was clearly put, and I just am wondering if we're not going to be able to see all the comments. There's a bit of a delay, but I encourage every single person that comes on this show to go back and read the comments. If you guys can relate to what Toki just laid out, to her experience, I hope and I invite you to drop a comment, and because you know what, I can relate to it. I think that the problem with this industry, this sort of make money online or the online marketing industry, is there is a lot of people who they're smart people, and they say, I'm going to create a little business opportunity or something, and I'm going to make it like a make money opportunity, to where basically like you buy it and then you just turn around and resell it, and you get all the the done for you stuff. And the problem with that is that that if you were to take away that business opportunity, that ability to be able to just earn commissions on something, there'd be no tangible value in what was there in the company. And that's a problem, because a lot of people get sucked in, like you said, to those make money. Wow, your mom, Ruben, is that your dad? He's on.
My dad.
Awesome. What's up, Ruben? Hi, Dad. Man, that's cool. My mom tunes in as well. It's a big problem. So what we're trying to do here, which I'm glad this has impacted you, is teach people the skills. It's kind of interesting, because I'm going through right now, even though I'm supposed to not be working. I'm supposed to not be working in the month of December because I'm supposed to be spending time with my son, but he's so chill and he sleeps so much.
That's good.
And that I'm sneaking out into the garage, and I'm continuing to work on the next generation of our business blueprints. And I'm actually writing out and creating the section in which I'm talking about the difference between just going and promoting somebody else's product, like you explained, versus building your own brand. And even if you are an affiliate, the idea of using what I call the attraction code, which is basically creating, doing education-based marketing, or as I like to call it, edutainment, okay, and marketing and building your brand, versus if you're an affiliate of a company, if you're an affiliate of Legendary, if you're an affiliate of whatever product on ClickBank, you do not work for that company. And you know what? This is what nobody will tell you. And I know I'm talking a lot, but you got me on a rant. I want to hear from you more than I want to hear from me. But I want to just say this. Here's what nobody will tell you. Here's what nobody will tell you is that if a company that you're promoting is no longer around, and you've spent the last whatever months or years I see people in MLMs, Toki, and they put like the wrap, the Herbalife wrap or the Amway wrap on their car, and they think that they're employees of that company. You're not, right? And now, why would Dave say that? Now, is he saying that Legendary is going to go out of business? No, I'm just saying that what our goal here is that we want to create independent marketers. We want to create people that you don't need us. You're not dependent on us, right? We don't want you to put a wrap on your car that says Legendary. Now, if you want to get a badass hat that says F average, be Legendary, awesome. We got some new gear, some new branding coming out. We want you to get Legendary in you, not just you being Legendary, but we don't want you to wrap your car because you don't work for us, right? And that is what you're talking about here, that you finally got away from and out from under these misinformed and untalented marketers who are creating these little get-rich-quick biz-op schemes to where you buy in and then you turn around and sell it, and there's no value, there's no skills that are being taught. And so, anyways, I'm ranting. Now I'm going to ask you. Anyways, what would you like to add? Anything else to that, or what comes up for you as I'm sitting here ranting?
That's exactly what happened with me. As far as that lesson learned, and internalizing, like I said, you really can't build a business for yourself if you're building on someone else's like brand, I guess you can say, and pretending to be that person. And that's pretty much what I learned, that lesson learned into 2020, and trying to get out the gate running, creating content that's just more of helpful content, helping people, asking their questions. It's more fulfilling that way when you not chasing the money and just really taking somebody from where they're at to where you're at, in this mindset, like there's more to life than, the 9 to 5, not that the 9 to 5 is bad, but I'm just saying that there's more to life to what you're doing. If you guys are feeling like there's nothing else in this world to create an income, there is, and it's in the education, and follow the skills, and you guys will be just fine.
So you've done, I also would like you to speak for a moment, just a little bit more in detail, to the people who have done a lot of stuff. Like you mentioned network marketing. I've done it. Okay. Not only have I done it online, but I've done it offline. Like I've done the magnets on my car. It wasn't a car, it was a rusty truck back in the day. I've done the signs in my yard, and I lived on a main street, and I thought so many people are going to see this sign, and I woke up every day and the homeless guy who walked down the street just kicked it into the road and nobody saw it. I couldn't even afford to buy more signs, because those signs, they cost money. I've done it all. I've done even the biz-oppy stuff. I've had to learn myself. I've had to evolve and mature. But talk to the people who have done so much stuff. Like they've done e-com, Amazon, they've done it all. And they're like, why should I give something else? Why should I give this? Why should I give Legendary? Why should I give what you guys are teaching and talking about a chance?
Because I was at that position myself. And when I got into Legendary, it was like, wow, this is amazing. This is what I was looking for. It has a lot to do with your mindset, because my mindset was, again, chasing money, throwing money at people. Here, I was like, okay, as much money as I put into all those things back in the day, I'm still willing to keep trying and spending. But when I got into Legendary and I watched the 15-day, went through the challenge, it's like, this is it. This is what I've been missing. The mentality has to be no limiting beliefs. Like the belief is so strong. I know I've heard the story where you give someone's sick and they gave someone a sugar pill and they didn't know that it was a sugar pill, right? And it all of a sudden cured them. And it wasn't because of the pill, it was because their belief that this thing that they were eating would cure them. And that's really where all this boils down to, is your belief that you can do it, that I can do it, that anybody can do it. All it takes is education, time. And when life throws these big mountains in front of you and you're looking up at that thing, like, how am I going to climb that mountain? Well, and you're barefoot and all you have is your hands. Well, guess what? Use your hands and start digging away steps at that mountain, just little bits every single day. And that's what Legendary has done for me personally, is really get my mind right. And from my view of being out here, coming into here into 2020, and now it's like right here. So if you want to look left or look right, you can't, because you have these horse blinders on, so shiny objects can't fit their way in. Here, it's a straight focus on step by step, day by day, getting you guys to build a business online for yourself as a personal brand to help people do the same. And that's what Legendary has done for me. And what I think is the most important is getting your mentality right and totally changing your path and plan of action. I think is really important.
Yeah. So thanks for that. I want to know, for the people who are going, but Toki, it's not even about all the things that I've done in the past. I just struggle with self-esteem. Like, I just struggle with low self-esteem. I just struggle with believing that somebody would want to hear what I have to say, or I have the ability to learn something, to then do it, and then to teach it. You know, that can be really intimidating. It's sort of like the fear of public speaking, right? Which is, some people would rather jump off a bridge than speak in public. So how have you, as a marketer, as a person, I mean, as a woman, as a mom, I believe you have kids, you know, there, as somebody with history, we all have history, as somebody who has probably been beat down by life in some way, shape, or form. How do you develop the confidence? I mean, it seems like you are stepping into your power now. Talk us through, give us more specifics about how you're doing that and how others can do that too.
So what happened when in 2020, I found Nathan Lucas, I found YouTube, and it's almost like I was looking for permission to do that, or like, this is the path I wanted to go. I've learned so much, been through so much, have this life resume of experiences that led me here. And then when I realized I want to do marketing this way, via video, with TikTok, right, and YouTube. And it was okay because somebody else was doing it and seeing success. That was enough for me. So that's what turned it for me. I was like, okay, this, you know, Nathan Lucas, obviously, and everybody else that's been doing it, it's like, I can do it this way and it's okay. I don't have to be hype. I don't have to be somebody I'm not. I could just be myself and just talking to a camera, and it's okay. Granted, that's very scary. I'm highly introverted. So doing this right now, I'm extremely nervous, but you have to just get past it. I can't tell you how to do that. It's more of you just doing it instead of you can make a decision, but what's a decision? And actually implementing it and doing it, that's a whole nother world. And when you do that, that's where the confidence and that's where the strength comes from. So when you practice in front of a camera and you're speaking to it, it'll just come naturally after that. And you're consuming content from Legendary, wherever you guys are consuming your content from, and then implementing it and talking about it, it helps to internalize it as well. So it's easy for you to teach other people. And that strength and confidence came from just doing that. Seeing somebody else do it, oh, I can do it too. That's pretty much where I got that from.
Awesome. Two things I want to say. First and foremost, what you just mentioned, and you guys will hear me say this a lot. If you haven't already, you should probably write it down. You cannot, and I stand by this with complete and total certainty, you cannot think yourself into a new way of acting. You must. These are strong words. Cannot, must. Must. act yourself in to a new way of thinking. How do I know this? Well, that's not my original quote. I actually learned that from one of my original sponsors in 12-step recovery. I was trying to recover from heroin addiction, one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I thought I was going to smart my way, think my way. You know, in this industry, I'm going to meditate my way. There's a Lamborghini in my driveway. There's a Lamborghini in my driveway. There's a Lamborghini in my driveway, right? I'm gonna do these not affirmations, but like these mantras. I'm gonna think something into existence. Bullshit. Okay. It's kind of like sitting around. If any of you guys would like to try this and sit on your couch and say, there's no weeds in my lawn. There's no weeds in my lawn. There's no weed, right? It doesn't matter whether you apply it to the Lamborghini, the weeds, whatever. There's $1 million in my bank account. There's $1 million. It's not going to happen. What you're talking about, I asked you a question. You didn't give me a fancy bullshit answer. You said, I just watch somebody else do it. Their belief gave me belief. Their taking that step gave me courage and confidence. And then I didn't sit around and hope and wish. I took the action, and now I'm getting more comfortable. I'm even nervous right now, but I'm getting more comfortable. And that is powerful. So thank you for being so real about that, because you know what? Even today, before I go on stage, I'm pretty good on video nowadays, but if we're doing an event or before, I still get butterflies, and I still get, a little nervous feeling. I mean, and for me to this day, that's how I know I'm alive. I'm like, okay, the juices are still flowing. There's no clogs in the bloodstream. It's all still working, right? And isn't that a different way to look at things? It's like those emotions are just you being alive. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're broke. It's not that you're fucked. It's that you're alive. Your body's doing stuff. Back in the day, if we were tromping through the jungle, we might feel nervous because there might be a lion around the corner, for God's sakes. Now we're not doing that. It's many centuries forward, but we're getting ready to go in front of people. That's the new saber-toothed tiger. So we get a little nervous. That's how our bodies operate, So I think it's important to normalize our feelings.
Yes.
Right? Normalize our feelings and stop doing the Instagram. Oh my God, life is perfect. That bullshit. It's like, entrepreneurship, just hustle, hustle, hustle. No, entrepreneurship is get nervous, get scared, get fucking sweat, your stomach, diarrhea. It's all there, man.
It is. It's there right now, actually.
I gotta go right now, actually.
No.
If you do, we'll wait.
No, I'm good.
Okay, I want to talk just before. So I would assume you're doing YouTube and TikTok based on the video comments.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, just TikTok, mainly TikTok, and then what I'll do is I'll take that TikTok and strategize it a little bit to where if I know I'm going to put that on YouTube as a short, you could do that too with your TikToks. Definitely do them to where you're not pointing like this kind of deal with your, click the link in my bio type. So if you,
Daddy,
hi,
girlfriend.
That's not my girlfriend. No, that's a friend. That's a girl, though. I know what you mean. It's a friend. It's somebody who I'm talking to. Her name is Toki.
Like
there.
Mommy's friend Tony.
Kind of like mommy's friend Tony. Absolutely.
So amazing.
All right, I love you.
Why would somebody name themselves Toki?
Oh, it's a different name, isn't it?
It is different. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
Why would her mommy and daddy want to name her Toki?
I don't know. It was their choice. Is that your name on your birth certificate?
Yes, it's my real name.
The kids just say anything. They have no filter.
Enjoy that lollipop.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I want to. Speaking of kids, you said something and this might be a good place for us to bring this in for a landing. You've given us a lot today. We asked you in a little questionnaire before you came on, what's important to you? What's your why? And you said, I want my kids to be proud of me and for them to grow up as confident, independent women. I need to show them that by how I'm conducting myself. Oh, I need to show them that by how I'm conducting myself.
Right.
That taking risk and failing are awesome things. That thinking for themselves will allow them to live with no regrets. That's one of the most powerful things I've seen somebody write in terms of their why. It's specific. Can you talk about that? Did you always have that? Is that something that you've recently developed? Can you just say more about that?
Sure. So like a lot of people say, well, why are you doing this online? Well, the surface reasons are I want to spend more time with my kids, financial freedom. I want to travel. Don't want to wake up to an alarm clock. You just don't want to go to a day job. Like, yeah, that's cool. So, but I learned this from Brian Brewer. He says, take it a step further, take it a step deeper and go, well, why do you want to spend time with your kids? Or why do you want to quit your day job? And then every time you answer that question, it could ask it again. Ask, well, why? Keep asking why until you get deep to the core of what is your why, because that emotional feeling that you're going to feel of why it's going to keep you going when you do fail, because just spending time with your kids is, to me, that's not enough. It's like, I want them to feel that they're going to win at life with no regrets. Yes, take risks, do it. It's okay to make mistakes. I welcome mistakes when they come to me with their, spelling tests and they miss 2. It's like, that's okay. That's great. Why did you miss 2? Let's get into it. And that's what I feel. I want them to be proud of me. I want my parents to be proud. Well, it's like, well, why do you want that? Because I want to feel like I won in life. So when I'm on my deathbed, I want to have no regrets. Like, I did this, I tried this and didn't work, but I tried this and I kept going until I was at where I wanted to be at. And I want my kids to watch me do that and not be tired, mommy, not be, I can't spend time with me, mommy, not being in the room on your computer, mommy. I want them to see what I'm doing and be involved with it and understand that this is what I want to do, is to help people get from where they are to where either I am or where they want to be. And I want to be, and that's the fulfilling thing out of this whole online business thing, is the fulfillment of helping other people get from where they are to where they want to be. And I want my kids to see that and feel that I won at life, basically.
Go, mama. Now, I want everybody to just take that in for a moment, because I'm about to also piggyback on that with $1 million copywriting tip. So just hopefully everybody can take in what she just said, because you're right. And I think one of the things that 2020 has gifted me, right? Of all the things that and my heart goes out to anybody who has had a tough year, whether it be health-wise or financially. So I don't want to minimize that. For me, I found a lot of gifts this year. The gifts that I found is the fact that, when you take away a lot of what it's done for me is it's stripped away even more so the need to get other people, like mostly people who I don't even like, their acceptance or validation of me, right? And there's sort of a saying that kind of circulates in this industry, which is, we buy a bunch of shit to impress people we don't even like. And 2020 for me has deepened my why, similar to how you just laid out so beautifully and powerfully. And my hope is that those of you who are listening and who are really wanting to find a deeper level of commitment for yourselves, that you'll you'll go back and re-listen to what she just said, because there's, especially in this time, 2020, when you sort of take away like the going out all the time. And yeah, I don't know what everybody else is doing, but for me, I've been mostly like kind of at home for the majority of the year. Mm-hmm. And when you take away kind of, like, I've not really drove my car that much. Like, we drove to Georgia and took a mountain vacation. That was pretty much it. But I've not drove my car a lot. So like the need for the fancy car has not really been there. The clothes, right? My wife and I used to go. And we'll get back to doing this sometime soon. But this year has just reminded, the clothes. I bought myself 2 pairs of Louis Vuitton shoes in the beginning of 2020. I have not wore them one time. They're still in the box. You know what I mean? And my wife's got like tons of purses. She's, I remember the first time back almost 10 years ago, I got her first Louis purse. Listen, she's not rotated they've stayed in the closet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I've looked also at my kids with deeper, like to actually my oldest child has come to work for me this year. So I'm able to give back some of these skills and opportunity that I've created, and now be able to see how it's impacted my kids as well, both with allowing me to not just spend time with them, but to be present with them, to actually be present, to put them first, not put my business first,
right,
but to put them first. Because I'm not building this business so I can, I don't want to be traveling the world away from my hometown and family. That's not my goal. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be doing interviews and podcasts all day. As a matter of fact, I never do any of that shit. This is the only time I go live. I just think what you said in going deep in terms of that why is so powerful. Now, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to kind of transition right into something that when you guys are writing copy, and you guys are talking to your audience and your marketing, one thing that you just said is one of the most powerful ways to hook somebody, and to get them to really feel moved to follow you or take your suggestions or buy from you. And what you just said was, I'd like to make my parents proud and I'd like to make my kids proud. And when we're writing copy, meaning we're either creating a piece of content or we're writing an email or an ad or a post, a lot of times we use general language, like time freedom, financial freedom, this kind of stuff. And what I'd like to offer you guys today in terms of testing the potency of an ad or an email or a video, mm-hmm. if you cannot point a finger at what you're talking about, meaning I can't point a finger at time freedom. I can't point it. So a lot of times we'll start off a video. If you're looking for more time freedom, if you're looking for more financial freedom, I can't point a finger at that. So that, even though it's industry jargon, doesn't have the potency to really truly hook people. If you will go back and look at the VSL that sells the challenge, I put the video of me giving my dad the truck. Mm-hmm. And indirectly, what that does is it tells the story of me making my dad proud, me giving back to my dad. And it's something that every single human being desires, is to have the acceptance and validation of their parents, mom and or dad, and for them to be proud of us. Actually, we want that. We desire that more than we want that from our kids. We want our parents we want our where we come from, our parents, our biological parents, we want them to be proud of us. And you can point a finger at that. So when you guys are creating content, when you're writing ads, when you're writing emails, if you start selling your own product and you're writing sales letters, when you're telling a story, and when you're poking and prodding into somebody's pain, if you can't point a finger at that pain, it's probably not going to hook that deep. So if you just say, hey, would you like more passion in your relationship? Like I want to do an example with a totally different industry. Would you like more passion in your relationship? Would you like to be more connected to your partner? I can't point a finger at that. That's just those are just buzzwords. Mm-hmm. But if I were to say, have you been feeling lately like your partner has been more distant than ever? Do you feel like when your husband comes to hold you and kiss you, that he's actually kissing you like he kisses his kids instead of like he kisses his wife? Do you feel like when you're in bed and you're making love that he's just not present? Does it take him longer to climax, right? These are specific examples that if I was to tell, and then if I use those at the beginning of a video to hook somebody, I might then go into my story and say, well, I'd like to tell you that you're not alone in those feelings. It was just a couple of years ago that I was laying in bed and I pulled my phone up and looked at it and realized that my husband and I had not been sexually intimate in over a month. And I realized that, right? And then I could go into my story and tell the story. So this is a huge, huge piece with so many marketers who are really beginning to write their own copy, their own ads, shoot their own videos, and market and brand themselves. And it doesn't matter what you're selling, whether you're, even if you were doing copywriting for another client. The problem with most people's copy and content is not specific enough. And the simple way to always remember or test the potency, and if it is specific enough, is can I point a finger at the pain that I'm talking about? And can I point a finger at the examples that I'm using for my own story? Does this make sense, Toki?
Absolutely. Yes, it does. I totally get the blanket approach to marketing is, like you say, use the industry jargon. And I see it a lot on TikTok. The ones that get the most views, the most engagement are the ones that are kind of blanketing out there, hoping to nab one person. But I found with my TikToks, when I'm more specific, like you said, in sharing like a personal story or a thought, those I find are the most, I get the DMs and people asking me questions. And I find that so much more fulfilling than just blanketing it out there and getting, you're going to maybe get a bunch of commissions or a bunch of leads, and that's all gravy. But I find the most fulfilling thing is when I actually talk with somebody and then they purchase and then I help them along the way. And I get that from being, like you said, pointing that finger and being truly specific to that pain point that person has, and engaging with people in the comments when they get kind of negative and a little toxic. And it's like, well, why do you feel that way? Like, I'll ask them questions instead of just blocking them or just saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, don't be ignorant. I don't say things like that. I try to be as positive as I possibly can because, kill them with kindness. And that is way more fulfilling and more, for my style anyway, my style of marketing, I'd rather do that than just do the blanket type stuff like a lot of people do, although it does get a lot of views. But the vanity metrics don't really matter in these cases anyways. So it's just best to build those relationships with people. And I find that to be a lot more fulfilling.
Yeah. And in certain applications might require different scenarios. I mean, test everything. But storytelling and in specific, being able to point out somebody's pain, somebody's going to pay attention a lot more if you call out a pain or you talk about a negative than if you talk about a positive or you talk about something that's in the future that somebody, would you like more time freedom? Would you like more financial freedom? Like, that doesn't mean anything. But if you can poke a finger into a current wound, a current pain, what is the present pain that's going on with people? And you can talk about that. You can talk about that in your videos. You can talk about that on your bridge page. And then you can tie those current pains that they're having into your own story so they can not feel alone, so they can feel like they're not judged by you, right? Mm-hmm. One of the last things that anybody wants to do is be judged, and that's another, marketing secret that, I've realized. While all these other, and you mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's a lot of communities and gurus and so forth that think that the way to motivate people and connect with people is to sort of shame them into buying, make them feel bad. Are you committed enough? It's not about commitment. It's about helping people step into their power, and what that means. That's industry jargon, but what that means is exactly what you've laid out on this live, eloquently, beautifully, powerfully. And I would encourage those of you who are wanting to figure out, how do I get from sitting on the sidelines into learning, into doing, into then turning around and teaching, to go back, listen to this again, because Toki, you're an inspiration. I'm proud of you. I'm happy to have you connected in our community, and I want to thank you so much for your time today. I know you're building your business. You got kids. You took the time to come on and give back today, and it means a lot.
Sure, no problem. I appreciate you inviting me on here. I appreciate you allowing me to tell my story, and I appreciate everyone here that decided to join and leave comments. And let's just keep it positive, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Toki. We'll give my best to your family, and we'll be talking to you real soon, okay?
All right, take care. Bye-bye, guys.
All right, see ya. All right, my friends, there you have it. Another powerful. It's just, I really never honestly know what to expect when we bring on these guests every day. I know that they're, clients and members of our community. I know that, that they're probably cool people when, if they're here, I mean, we hope that we don't attract uncool people, but, I'm just always blown away at the just how incredible all of you guys are. Just how incredible your stories are, just how incredible you are. You're overcoming things in your lives to put one foot in front of the other, to build businesses, to learn new skills, no matter what your age or your previous experience is, that you're saying, like, I can do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna let anything hold me back. It's just inspiring. It's inspiring to me. It's inspiring to others here, and each one of you has that in you. I don't want you to just be a listener. I don't want you to just be a part of this community passively. I want you to know that each time we have somebody on, they're a representative of each one of you. I know that. The guests are incredible, inspiring, uplifting. But I know that each one of you guys who are listening are that same way. And I look forward to connecting with all of you guys in the future and continuing to be a part of your success. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. One more day in this week. And of course, we're finishing out the year strong. Okay. So now is the time to take action and listen to the advice of the people who are coming on these shows, to set yourself up to have a great 2021. All right. Be legendary, my friends. I love and appreciate you all. Peace.